Yeah. Welcome to Unified Media, Dropping Gems podcast. Let's get it. Yeah. Welcome to Unified Media, Dropping Gems podcast. Let's get it.
You know it's special when they run the drop twice for you. This is Unified Media, Dropping Gems Podcast, episode 10. Topic of conversation revolves around the responsibility of being a father and parent to your children. We will be discussing the unconditional love, the struggles, memories, morals, and ethics we would like to provide to our children while we're raising them. Like and share this video to those who will find this information useful. Tune into the show once a week, every Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, live on YouTube, where we have raw and uncut open discussions that can range with insightful and educational information across the board. If you would like to be a special guest on the show, excuse me, I'm sorry. Woo. If you'd like to be a special guest on the show, email us at droppinggemspodcast and at gmail.com with your name, business, industry, IG at, and brief bio. This is hosted by yours truly, JL the Truth, and ONCL Dewan. Support the show by subscribing to the channel and hitting the notification bell. You know, we a little rough on the edges because we took a day off, but we're here.
Hey man, this is, bro. This is one of those special moments, man. Like I was really looking forward to this, bro. Like this is really like it's a needed episode, especially in our communities. You feel me? Like me and your community. You know what I'm saying? We this is different for people because we all have this a disattachment to fathers because of scorn mothers or the fathers being just not understanding what it takes to be a father and things like that.
The value,
the value and what
it's a huge value,
man, what comes with it and what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Like that, it got to be said, it got to be talked about, bro. Like this is the ultimate gem of life, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is the ultimate gem of life. This is why life is the way life is. You get what I mean? The whole concept of a mother and father creating another mother and father.
Now, I want to start, and all of that is powerful. I want to start with the way I was raised and the way you were raised, and the way it kind of correlates into who it shapes us as a man through the weaknesses and strengths of our parents that kind of turn us into that sponge, and we, sometimes subconsciously or consciously aware, and become as well, you know what I mean, with those weaknesses and strengths. Yeah. So when I was raised in a broken home. So I didn't have my father in the picture early on. And I realized that my mom, being a single mother with two children, with me and my sister, there was a level of responsibility that she couldn't quite do on her own. You know what I mean? And had I had a father figure, a mentor, somebody that I can look up to, I would have made better decisions as a young man. But because I didn't have that, I kind of had a almost like a tough relationship with my mother as I grew older, because as you grow older, you tend to fight the nature of what you need to do in the household as a teenager. And I know we all go through that when mom or dad is like, you got to go do the chores, or you got to take care of your homework, or come home early, watch who you're hanging out with, don't do those drugs, don't do that alcohol, don't get easily influenced. But 90% of the time, if there's no structure in the home, what you're gonna do? You're gonna do the total opposite.
You're gonna do exactly what you were told not to do.
Right.
Because we want to know what it is that it is to do, why they don't want us to do what it is.
Why they want. Right. So And I ended up doing that. I was generally a good kid in school, you know, and I was able to get through school pretty much on my own. My mother didn't really have to worry about that because I was into the books. I was into educating myself. I was like I almost utilized school almost in a way where I competed with other kids to kind of stand out. It was always in my nature to be the best at everything I touched. You know what I mean? In that sense. So when I hit the books, I wanted to be the best, student that I can be. I remember when I had this exam, I was the only person that got the 100 on the exam. When I had the English and the reading subjects, I had the best essays. I was always competing. I was in the gifted and talented program. I was in a way where it's like my mother probably felt like I was about to utilize my skills the right way to be able to provide myself with a certain standard of living that she couldn't provide me, And had I went that direction, I'm sure I could have. But again, like you mentioned, we decide to do the total opposite of what they don't want us to do. So that's when I made the decision that well, I'll tell you this. The broken home broke even deeper. And what I mean by that was like my mom couldn't even hold the household together enough. She had to put us in different situations where I had to go move with a family member. And this is not on her, totally on her fault. She's by herself. She's a single mother trying to provide.
Doing her best.
Doing her best. So if she can't manage, the expenses, like we mentioned, right? She's gonna put us in a situation where she feels her children is gonna be able to kind of, without her stressing that they're out there, hungry, starving, figuring it out on their own. So
got somebody to help
So I actually moved with my aunt in Florida.
Nice.
And when I moved with my aunt to Florida, I was able to finish school. And then that's when I started getting involved in the things because my mother's not around, that authority figure is not around. I'm maneuvering through the world on my own, making my own decisions. That's when I didn't want to work. I was drinking and I started doing drugs. And I'm not talking about just weed.
You was doing some.
I was doing the mother things. I was picking up lines of that white, because I'm in Florida and that was the thing out there. You know what I mean? So you become what you're surrounded by. So I started doing it with other young adults, 17, 18 years old, partying and doing these things that I'm not supposed to be doing. That's when my aunt said, "Oh, time for you to ship back to New York. I can't handle this responsibility." And guess what that did for me? That made matters even worse. Now I'm around my father, who at the time was in the street hustling. So I'm looking at my father now, and this is why, when you look in hindsight, why my mother decided to keep me away from my pops at the time. My father was in the streets hustling, so I'm thinking that's the right thing to do. Oh, gotta go get to the bag. Let me go sell some drugs. And what ended up happening is I'm quite not the hustler in the streets the way I hustle with everything else. God said, you know what? We're going to have to teach you a lesson fairly quickly. And I got bagged and sent to Rikers Island in New York City. Boom. Had to do time on Rikers Island. Right? So I'm doing time. I'm in prison, mind you, with a bunch of offenders anywhere between 6 months to a year, and some people that are even transferring upstate and doing the longer bids. And I'm seeing things that will blow your mind, like, yo, I can't believe people are doing this shit right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, luckily I survived that situation because I was able to get cool with the OGs, the Spanish people, and I just locked in with them, stood working out, stood to myself, read the Bible, etc., to get me through my time. Right, because I ain't even mentioned that yet. My father I was born into what they call Latin Kings. So right. So I was involved in all that. But when I came out that situation and came home, it just kept going down here. I ended up meeting an older woman who was into drugs, and I was doing drugs with her. You know what I mean? And this is all me, young adult, 19 years old, living in an apartment, after being locked up, now I'm on probation because I didn't want to do the whole time in prison. So I ended up copping out to some probation. So after I did my time in prison, they gave me 5 years probation.
Nice.
And now with 5 years probation, if you mess up on probation, they send you back to the they send you back if you mess up on probation, right? Now, exactly. So she remembers because she's been around for so long. So she pretty much saved my life. I'll put it to you that way. I would either be dead, locked up, and not even half the man I am today if it wasn't for the structure that I was able to have when my wife came into my life. So at this point, I'm living with this older woman, and I'm doing drugs with her, right? My father doesn't give a shit of where I am. My mother doesn't give a shit of where I am. They're kind of figuring out their own situation. Now, that's a broken home when you put it all in a nutshell. That's what happens in a broken home when there's no authority figure that can kind of guide you and put you in the right direction. Now, granted, I was a young man and I should have known better. But when you're around what you're around, that's what you're going to end up doing. You know what I'm saying? Because you are who you surround yourself with. So
that's crazy, bro.
Luckily enough, check out how this story goes. Luckily enough, I end up going to Jersey from New York because I was living in New York. I end up going to Jersey to visit my uncle. And all of this is going to tie into the subject matter of today. I go visit my uncle and I'm jogging through the waterfront in Jersey. As I'm climbing the stairs, I end up meeting this one behind me who's actually in a vehicle crying because she just broke up with her man.
Wow.
With my ex.
The same day she broke. Yeah.
And what's crazy is just how fate or whatever you
timing.
Call it, timing.
Because if I didn't jog.
And if I would have not left when I left, because I went all the way to Queens. So if I would have never left when I actually left, when me and him had broken up, I would have stood longer. Who knows? I probably would have never even bumped into him. So the fact that, boom, my mom's like, you know what? Come with me. I just got to run a couple errands. I live right there on a block called Boulevard East facing the New York skyline. Really pretty. So we jump in the car. We're driving. And sure enough, our eyes and it's crazy. That's another thing that it's just
it just kind of locked, and I was like, oh,
our eyes locked.
I was like, oh shit, that's Maggie.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh shit,
that's John.
John?
Oh, he's in the area.
Yeah, I was like, oh well, he's in the area, so I'll probably bump into him again. No problem. I didn't stop, and my mom kept going, right? So boom, she drives down like maybe 2 blocks, makes a left, then drives down like another 2 blocks. She stops. So I get out the car with her, and all of a sudden I see him running past the car. And I'm like, how the fuck did this nigga get all the way over here? To come to find out, this nigga ran after the car. He ran after my car.
Something in my spirit said, yo,
nice move.
I gotta catch up with her. And I had no form of other communication. I wasn't into a computer. I didn't have a laptop. I didn't have none of that. I had no structure in my life. I was a lost soul. So I said, you know what? Let me go tap in with her, see how she's doing. Boom, boom, boom. So I go.
That's beautiful, man.
Now, long story short, we end up having children.
Yeah.
And the two handsome boys we have in the back now. Now the oldest one is 14. He's gonna be 14 next week. And then the youngest one is 9. 14 Brandon. Isaac is 9, right?
Yeah.
And 2 in spirit, because the first one she had a miscarriage, and then the other one we had an abortion, and that was because, again, of structure in my life that I wasn't doing the right thing. So now when you put it all into perspective, because I had a broken home, I had no authority figure, I had no structure, I was losing my way in life, that rolled over into my relationship, where I made all the bad decisions, all the worst decisions you can make as a father, as a husband, as a friend, as in all forms, right? So fast forward, and I have the opportunity. I have one last opportunity to save my family, and it was to make a decision to move, right, and go somewhere else to start fresh, put all the problems, all the bad decisions behind us, and move forward. Now we're talking about now and present time, and I'm going to tell you what I learned along that journey. I made sure that moving forward, I wasn't gonna make those same decisions. I wasn't gonna make those same mistakes. That's one. Two, I was gonna provide a certain lifestyle, certain living, a certain structure that I was not gonna have a broken home to my boys, because I know what that did to me and how I got lost in that. But I was able to pull out on the other side. I was able to make it out that hole on the other side. Everybody doesn't make it out that hole. Some stay stuck in there, some get buried, some don't make it out, right? I didn't want that for my boys. Then I knew also that I wanted to provide a certain living for them. And in order to do that, you have to go against the grain. You have to go against the system that's structured to you. And you have to fight, nail, claw, climb, cry, blood, sweat, tears, to be able to accomplish the things you want to accomplish, to provide a certain lifestyle for your family, so that way you can have the time freedom to appreciate them and create those moments with your family. You know what I mean? And I needed all of that. I needed all of that to happen to make me the man I am today, where I know that there's morals and, of course she didn't, but there's morals and ethics I want to provide to my children. You know what I mean? To be a good man by whoever it is that your significant other is going to be. You know what I mean? To make the right decisions over the wrong ones. To sacrifice. You know, enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Experiment. Enjoy yourself. Experiment the right way. Experiment the right way. Apply activities that you want to learn. You know what I mean? The partying and all that can happen later. You can enjoy those vices later, you know, the good vices. But I'm going to structure something in them that's going to provide them a tool and an avenue and a vehicle for them to prosper in life, as opposed to breaking down a home, being separate from them, and them having to figure it out on their own. There's no structure in that. There's no structure in that at all. So, and what's crazy about this conversation we're having, you didn't even know that I did drugs and went to jail. It would have never even probably crossed your mind.
Fuck no.
I don't even come across as somebody who would actually be doing stuff like that.
Not nothing more than weed, bro. I promise. You know what I'm saying? Nothing more than weed, bro.
You know what I mean? And because I didn't let it consume me and bring me down and continue to live that lifestyle, I am the man. It structured me today. It structured me to the point where I needed those experiences for me to become who I am today, for me to appreciate what I have already and to strive for even more, as opposed to being confined to that system, continuing to do drugs, continuing to sell drugs, go to jail, get locked up, be uneducated, etc., etc. And I now understand, you know, that it's key to be in your children's lives,
bro. Super key. It's
super key.
It's the you gotta think about it like this, man. It is very important to be there, to be able to provide that structure, to provide the guidance, and, you know, watch over, like a helicopter, watch over as they, you know what I'm saying, start to go and express themselves. You know what I'm saying? It is, and you can be able to be those, like in the bowling alleys, the pin, I mean the sidebars, you know what I'm saying, so it don't go in the gutter. You get what I mean? You get the opportunity to be that. And man, I'm crying, making it emotional and stuff like that. I get something to drink, man, because I ain't crying.
You good. He had a long day, mind you. He just had the baby reveal last night. That's why we took off last night. Gave my man a break. He hasn't been able to. He soaked it up, but not quite just yet. That's why he's feeling right now.
It's really a boy. It's a boy. So it's
the one.
Nah, man, you know it
They
is.
got the one. Now this one's the one.
Hey, man, you know it is what it is. But
His brother's name is One.
Oh, Juan.
yeah,
Yeah. So this one's the one.
yeah. Everybody said Juan's name different. A lot of people use you hear the H out of it, not the Juan. It's the Juan. You know what I'm saying?
That's when the Chicas come in and they
Hey,
throw that slang on it. They throw that slang.
yeah. You know, he say it always got a little ring to it like that.
Got a ring to it. Got a ring to it.
That's what it is. But yeah, man, I ain't been able to really sleep, man. It's just soaking it in, like the fact that I'm about to have a son on the way. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And the simple fact that, you know, I've been always wanting to have children. I know that's something that I wanted to do in life, you know, but you know, a lot of things kind of kept me from not having children because I knew what it felt like growing up, you know, at a young age trying to raise children while being a child. You get what I mean?
And that's exactly what I was. I was a child raising a child.
It's it's a little tough when you still don't know or have everything figured really out or have a structure and you got somebody else looking up to you to follow that same structure. Excuse me.
You're fine.
Get some.
All right. He got the gallon of water. It's been a long night. That boy was drinking alcohol.
Nah, it was
good.
for sure apple cider, man. You know what I mean? I ain't doing none of that drinking stuff. I'm a little cool on that stuff. I had that time. So, you know, now it's a little different. So it's just now becoming a father, you know, like you say, I'm about to go ahead and place the structure. You know what I'm saying? I gotta present myself structured so my son can be able to present himself in the same manner and way, and he get that actual you know, ability to ask questions about why it is that way, or you know, see, you know, what that it's okay, that's a cool way to be there because it's my dad gets to have fun, raise me, and we all get to just still be able to do what we want. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, and I get to see that because that's how I was as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Looking when I had my dad there and I see my dad, I was, you know, I looked up to the fact that he was able to still live his life that he lived that you know, outside of the house, and you know, when he was there, it he was, you know what I'm saying, he made sure he was there. You get what I'm saying? When he had the opportunity to. You get what I mean? You know, sometimes things we as adults we get attached to things, and then you don't know how to make the balance. You get what I mean? You got to find the balance, and if you're gonna do what you're gonna do, make sure that your household and everything is taken care of. You know what I mean? As a father, that's as a man, that's what you know, the principles that you want to instill in the child. You know what I mean? And by every which way, my father done that. Now I may have not paid attention to most of it because there was resentments and certain things, you know, when you have your with your parents because you would like for them to come in a certain manner or present themselves in a certain manner. But again, when you are kids raising kids, it's really tough to make some of those decisions because again, you're attached to what you're attached to as a kid.
Right.
Kids, you know, we know what we want and what we like, and we get involved in it, and we get be very comfortable with it because it's where we feel we stand out at the most. You know what I mean?
And they don't know, and we don't know as children what our parents are going through.
Right. Because they don't want us to have to worry about certain things. You get what I mean? Because they went through it. You just like you know what I'm saying? You said you don't want the way you and your household grew up with your parents. You don't want that for your sons.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
It was all, and even though I was young, raising a child, raising a child, and I wasn't always making the right decisions when I first had my firstborn, but I always knew deep down inside, whether it worked or not, I wasn't going to be a father that disappeared.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I always said that to myself. So if me and her didn't work out, I was always going to be involved, and it wasn't going to be no part-time shit neither. You know what I'm saying? I was
Exactly.
going to really still be involved. I was going to continue to help her, you know, because that's just who I am. You know what I mean? That's in my DNA. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's just crazy how all of that can mold you to who you become ultimately. And you need to have, again, you need to have the awareness to
Man.
see that a lot of your weaknesses came from your parents' weaknesses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's all you knew. So in order to break that cycle, you have to have the awareness to say, hold on, wait, something's not given. Like
Right.
you end up being in this revolving door that ends up being toxic, and there's no sense of direction or appreciation for what you're trying to create, because you know you end up getting lost in it all. You know what I mean? The pressure of life. So the first thing I'm going to mention is the unconditional love segment of it.
Mm.
And with unconditional love comes a level of protection for my boys. And now I don't have girls, I have boys, and I'm still overprotected. I don't even I'm when I let the little one out in the back to go to school, I'm out the window looking and making sure he's there near the crossing guard.
Yeah.
You could just never be too safe. That's one thing
Right.
I want to tell parents. Never be too safe, never be too comfortable, because the slightest second something can happen to your child. And you're gonna feel that it's your fault because you didn't pay attention in that slight second. So
Man,
never be too cautious.
heavy, bro, because you know we have a lot of child snatching and things like that going on
Man,
in this world, bro.
shit is crazy.
It's scary. It's my bad about the loud background, but you know.
No, that's all. That's sound effects. We just
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, but it's real out here. But but the simple fact that overprotection, that making sure, you know what I'm saying, you being the kid, your parents got to oversee you, making sure that you don't get into something, because you know you're gonna get into something. You're creative. You want to know. You're imaginative. You see all of these things. This is brand new life and things like that. So you know what I'm saying, taking that aspect as a man, you really gotta be focused. And that's what I appreciate about my dad. That's he was watching to make. Hey, I already know what you about to do because I didn't did that before. You get what I mean? I see you may be just doing it a little different, but I can see what you're doing. You get what I mean? And that's what you got to have over your children, is to be able to put them in a correct manner and structure to say, hey, pay attention. You get what I mean? And this is what makes you have to think out here in life, man. As a man, I heard this one quote from Nipsey. Nipsey said, men got to be thorough. He said women and children can be careless, but you know, and I get what he meant by that. But what I'm saying is, like, to being thorough, you have to think 10, 15 steps ahead to make sure that you in proper position to be able to withstand whatever's coming next.
Right.
You know what I mean, in life, and what you got to be able to go through, and how to again balance,
adjust,
and make the correct discernments. You got to be able to spend time with the family, and you got to be able to show love and give the support. You know what I'm saying, and be there, listen to everything. Your kids want to express to you and want to tell you, want to, you know what I'm saying, just tell you how good of a day is. Or if they're not speaking and you want to figure out, like, you know, what's going on, and if there's something happen, you want to be involved in knowing that, hey, I'm here.
Communicate with them. Don't let them feel like they need to bottle that stuff inside.
Right.
Because when they bottle that stuff inside, that stuff leads to, you know, to the suicides that you hear with children.
Yeah. Or it puts them in position to, you know, like we spoke to earlier, do the opposite like we did. You get what I mean?
Right.
We're trying to fill a void that we're not getting.
Right.
And stuff like
oh,
that.
you don't want to give me love and attention? I'll go give this love and attention.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And it's really different, man. But you know, bringing on this experience now and me thinking about it, man, this episode was so crucial and important, bro. You know what I mean? This episode.
I have to be as transparent as I can be. That's why right from the opening, I just let it be known. You know, not too many people know that about my story, that I led down that path. Now, as I continue to develop and garner new opportunities, create new opportunities, and have certain sit downs and have certain conversations, I have no problem letting people know how I was raised and where I came from and what I was doing at that time, because I want people to know that anybody can go through that and still come out on the other side 30 times, 100 times better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I can sit down with anybody and have a solid conversation with anybody, from somebody who's more intellectual to somebody who has, you know, who's street smart, to somebody who is, you know, X, Y, and Z. I can just have a conversation with anybody. You have to be able to hold a conversation. Now, the next thing I want to mention is the struggle of being a parent and a father. And what I find difficult sometimes is there's a few things that I find difficult, and it's probably an internal thing. And I know I have these conversations with my wife. The first thing is, I always feel like I'm not doing enough for them. You know what I'm saying? I'm always in that battle, like, I can do more for them. I want to do more for them. You know what I mean? And because things are not happening a certain way, or I'm not, you know, seeing certain things that are not coming my way just yet, I kind of break down and be like, damn, I'm still not doing enough for them. You know what I mean? I want to do so much more. And what she tells me is, she goes, compare their life to the way you was growing up. And when she does that, she gives me perspective. And I'm just like, holy shit, you know, I remember living in a household where everybody fucking slept on the same bed for a few weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember just having one meal a day. I remember having clothes throughout the year, 3-4 outfits that I had to rock throughout the entire year with the same pair or 2 pairs of sneakers. You know what I mean? I remember living in an apartment and never living in a house. So when you put it in those terms, and you put and then you also look at where you're at and where you want to be compared to where your parents were at that same age and where they want to be, you already know there's a growth mindset involved. Like, you know what I mean? And I can't beat myself up for that.
Right.
I can't continue to beat myself up for that, because in the moment I'm providing as much as I can to them, you know, and me being here physically in the, you know, with them already holds a lot more than what was given to me when I was growing up. You know what I mean? So that's one thing. So being present, having attention, giving the love, having the communication is very important. Now, the second thing that I find difficult
it still sounds pretty cool, honestly. As a perspective.
Yeah, as a second thing that I find difficult is when you and this is something that I'm trying to get over, is because I was young and I was a child mentally, raising a child, my firstborn, I treated him differently than how I treated my secondborn. And I love them the same now because I understand what I did wrong. But because I was a young child raising a child, I treated him differently, which in turn affected our communication. He doesn't come, and we're still figuring out. He doesn't come to me when he needs to talk to me. He goes to his mom.
Yeah.
And so recently I had a conversation with him where I told him, listen, I want you to understand something. The only reason why it may seem like I treat your brother differently is because now you're 14 and you should know better. And because your 9-year-old brother looks up to you, you should know better. You know what I mean? So I love you. I love you both the same. I make sure that when I get him something or you something, you both get it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why right now, if I walk to the bedroom, both of them are hooked up with computers that are better than the computer that I have right now in front of me. They have a gaming computer that is, you know, whatever the term is, but each computer is like over $1,000, and they have the best streaming, whatever. They have Discord, they have everything they need, mics, headphones, everything they need to provide them with the tools that they want, and the tools with how they want to execute their little endeavors on YouTube. So I support them in that way. And
beautiful.
The difficult thing is, because of those mistakes, I now have a hard time communicating with my oldest son, because he doesn't have the trust in sitting down and expressing himself to me, because of what I put him through growing up, you know, and treating him a certain way. So I'm letting you know now, for few, you know, there's no manual to this shit. We're going to make mistakes, and we're going to have to find ways through those mistakes to evolve and somehow conversate with our children, sit them down and say, hey, son, I just want you to understand that, you know, you may not understand the severity of it all because of what I was going through in that time, but I want you to know now things are different. You can come to me whenever you need to talk to me about anything. It can be anything.
Right.
You know, don't be afraid to express yourself to me.
Right.
And little by little, he's slowly coming around. You know what I mean? Because there's an edge to me off camera that I set a certain tone in the household, because I never want them to feel like a boundary is going to be passed over between parent and child, because I want them to walk with a certain level of respect, so that way when they go out to the real world, they can have that same respect towards other people, so they get the same respect back.
Man, that's the importance. That's the importance right there. That's the importance of being a father. So what you just explained right there, that struggle is not actually a struggle. It's your challenge.
I like that.
It's your challenge.
I like that. I might have to edit that in the description and take struggle out and put challenge.
And
that's why I gotta have these conversations with you, brother, because you'll take something and be like, you know what? It's not a struggle. That's just a challenge. It's not a bill. That's an expense.
Right. You know, it's the perspective, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to put into perspective. And you know, a lot of times we grew up in I'm speaking in a general sense. We grew up in a era where, you know, it was tough for people to express and connect with themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they also tell us men, we shouldn't be expressive and emotional.
Right. They make it seem like we supposed to be these rock hard, solid, everything that is, you know what I'm saying, not supposed.
And we are, but
we are.
There's times where we break down.
And it seems like we're not meant to make a mistake. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's how they're looking at it. It's like, from that perspective, you got to look at it. All right, this is a challenge. How do I beat this every day? How do I get to the next level? How do I, you know what I'm saying, grow and get to that, being able to fully protect everything and not make a mistake, but literally just learn a lesson on what made is the right decision or not. You get what I mean? It has to, you know, sometimes we have to put that into perspective. Like, this is what it is. We have to, you know, consider and think about our certain decisions that we making. You know what I'm saying? Because it's effective. We're effective. Fathers are effective, and that is what is needed in today's time, bro.
Deep. The next thing I wanted to talk about, and I know it'll come to me here in a second, is creating memories. Creating memories.
Wow.
Creating good memories. Let's put it that way, because trauma It's a bad memory, and
Mm.
it can follow you for a lifetime, trauma. So, and it'll affect you in a way where you'll hold yourself back to be able to get into a world of abundance, get into a world of prosperity, get into a world of leveling up, of being the best version of yourself. Trauma will affect all that. So when having children, find ways to create good memories with them that will be a lifetime of, man, when we're gone, my children could say, my father was the shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And now I understand why he was the way he was, and this was needed. You know what I mean? And I had all those great memories with him, the laughs, the cries, learning how to ride the bike, learning how to tie the shoe, learning how to swim, learning how to make a living, not surviving. You know what I'm saying? And all those facets, because it's that's another key element, and that's why today, I have to come with grip. I have to come to grips with the fact that me and my parents don't have that relationship. I respect them and I love them, but because things didn't develop the way I wanted to, I have to now give my time to my children. I'll make time for my parents. I'll pick up that phone call. I'll go check up on them once in a blue. But because we don't have that key relationship the way I was hoping for, I have to give that energy to my children. So bless you. When my children have children, it can kind of spiral into something different.
And that's the generational wealth right there. That's what needs to happen, because
to break the cycle.
To break that cycle, bro. Because we've all been through that same cycle with the struggling parents. You know what I'm saying? The moms and dads, not together in the household, and it's real important to understand that trauma, that it's you actually are supposed to be fed from that. That's what you're supposed to not do as you pay attention. You know what I'm saying? As a kid, you know what I'm saying? That's what you're not supposed to go through and do. You're supposed to be able to, what I'm saying, try to understand, like, oh, I don't want to do that because I might turn up to the same way. You get what I mean? It might happen and I'm gonna lose that effectiveness and that things like that, because there's a lot of memories and things that I cherish, you know what I'm saying, that are good and bad. And having that trauma, sometimes we harp too long on the bad things, you know what I'm saying, and
we don't appreciate none of the good.
We don't appreciate none of the good, and then sometimes that actually can ruin a relationship with our parents.
And that's what happened.
Resentment against them,
and that's exactly what happened with me. So I have to figure out a way to let go of the resentment to be able to move forward, but also have enough level of respect for myself to say, what's not good for me is not good for me, whether it's coming from my parents or not. You know what I mean? And what's good for me is good for me if it is coming from me. You know what I mean? And right now, what I'm doing for my children is providing the good memories. You know what I mean? I have provided, I'm sure, some trauma to them, especially my oldest, because again, I was a young man raising a young man, and I asked for his forgiveness, from father to son for that. But moving forward, I've created some great memories for them that, my parents couldn't do for me. You know what I mean? Whether it was travel across the world and go to Disney World, go to the American Dream Mall, go to a waterfall, or go cross the river, or whatever activities that I can afford to do for them, so they can enjoy a moment and create a good memory for them. I've done, plenty. And
beautiful, man.
That's beautiful. You have to find ways to do it. You have to find ways to provide whatever you can provide, so that way those memories stick, the good ones, and and let the bad ones kind of slither away.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate this information, bro, because this is a beautiful moment. I'm still like really, I'm like trying to soak it in. You get what I mean? Because it's just like it's happening so fast for me, and things like that. It's just like wow.
When she gives birth
Uh-huh.
and you hold the baby in your hands,
Uh-huh.
that feeling, and you know what I love about that feeling the most is that the baby smell.
Mhm.
The infant smell. There's just
Yeah.
and just make sure that not everybody is kissing your baby, because everybody's gonna want to. No, wait till they're old enough. When it's in that infant stage,
Excuse me.
kiss lightly. Let your mom and dad throw couple kisses on the forehead, and keep it moving. But everybody all smooth all over your baby. Nah, we ain't doing that.
Okay, yeah, no,
Yeah, we ain't doing it.
I kind
Yeah,
of,
you got to be prepared for that, because everybody's gonna want to hold and.
I know, bro. I'm looking at how many people was here at the reveal, man, and it was just like, damn, there's a lot of people, and it was a lot of my family, right? And I'm used to that. I'm used to it being a lot of family on my mom, especially on my mom's side. So what I'm saying. But I had everybody that was important there, and just to see how many people was rooting and cheering for me to have a boy, bro. Like it outnumbered the whole thing. Like it was only a small amount for team girl, bro. And it was just like, I'm like, wow, you get what I mean? Like, damn, this shit is crazy, bro. Cause it was like, damn, all these people want to have a boy, bro. Like, what the hell? Like, I know I want a boy too, you know what I'm saying? Just cause I know I want to be able to, what I'm saying, do certain things to get that experience and things that I didn't have when I was growing with my father. You know what I'm saying? That connection that I didn't have with my father. There was good memories and bad memories though. You know what I'm saying? But I really have dawned on looking at the
What's the good what's the good that you can take from both of your parents that you would want to instill in your child?
With my father, the structure, bro, the order, the confidence, that confident and the ability to discern and make that right decision, or at least make the decision that you feel is the right decision at the time. And if it's not, you learn from
the best decision possible.
Right.
Love
And
that.
from my dad and from my mom, man, love, bro. Just
Love, nurturing, love
the
and nurturing.
nurturing, and just to know what is needed before you know what I'm saying, like you don't even be thinking about it, but she already and had it.
You already know. She already got it like that.
She got your food ready for you when your
Right.
favorite stuff. It got your clothes set out and ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand. You know what I'm saying, the difference with my mom's, and so now I have the balance of I'm really looking forward to. I'm looking forward to finding that balance and that structure. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking at this as a fun experience. I know rather than a scary experience. You get what I mean? How that's how I'm looking at it right now, and I'm actually just trying to use that as my my form of confidence. Like, I can get through this shit. You get what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I can get through the balance. And you know what I'm saying? So it was just crazy that, like, everybody was cheering for a boy, and now I got a son coming. So and you know what I'm saying? And so my mind, that's why my mind is the way it is. It's like, I don't want my child or my son, and none of the kids around me that is going to be in my life. I don't want none of them kids to be you know what I'm saying, be scared to continue to express themselves, and saying, be a kid, but at the same time learn as they grow, rather than saying, thinking life is all about fun, but also having structure. Because I feel like both parents in the household be able to provide these structures that I learned from my father and my mom. You know what I'm saying? How to love, but also how to be protective. How that unconditional love. You know what I'm saying?
Love and
That
protect.
protection. You know what I'm saying? That no matter what, I'm gonna do everything in life to make sure that you get everything that you need out of this life, and
Right.
you understand how to get in, that you don't need to be afraid to go after what it is that you're trying to do and want to do, that you can do that. You know what I mean? You can do anything you put your mind to.
It's
You know what I'm
real.
saying? that's
It's
the
real.
balance of having both parents in the house. You know what I mean? Like, it creates that ability for a child to learn these things and get ready to possess those things, and saying, put forth and move now. So I'm like really looking at life in that perspective now, having a kid. Like, of course I know it's going to be a little struggle and things like that, but like, I'm like, well,
It's gonna
shit,
be
man.
a challenge. It's gonna be
Yeah,
a challenge.
I mean, yeah, thank you again. Yeah, see, that's why it's right there. You come see, that's the importance of the perspective wise, because you have to be able to see, like, it's gonna be a challenge, but I can beat these challenges because seen that some people can't, some people can. What my parents learned, I learned from my parents. When they didn't make the right decisions, now I can make the better decisions, or at least go ask questions. Hey,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Hey, what you think about this? Or, I'm kind of thinking like this, and is this is how I'm supposed to be thinking, when it comes down to, making the decisions in life, or something, just to have that bond and connection. So therefore, we're raising and instilling the kids with the right and respectable morals that they learn change the whole cycle. You get what I mean? From what it used to be, and not being there, and being absent, and missing out, and not having those good memories. You know what I mean?
Now, one thing I wanted to mention is and all everything you said was incredible. Um what we lack today, and that I realized, and this is not in every family, but in some family cases, the family gatherings, or the sit downs at the table, you know, those are very important as well. When you have your children sit down at the table, have dinner, have breakfast together,
Mhm.
the family gatherings on holidays, get together with your family, and show them um, togetherness,
Mhm.
family structure, other
Mhm.
family members. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? But the ones that you're good with, because not every family is family.
Right. Right. Right.
Not every family is good for you. You
Nope.
know what I mean? So the ones that you care about, that you love, and they care about you and they love you, those are the ones you keep dear to you, and you show and instill on your children, like, hey, these are the ones you still want to be around, and still want to have
Mm.
some, and build some memory with, and have some good conversations. So for us, whenever we have, like, for next year, in March, around March, um, my wife's mother's husband, or fiance, I should say,
Mm.
he's retiring, and they're very thing with family. So we're gonna be flying out to forgot what state it was, but we're going on a retreat pretty much.
Nice.
And you know what I mean? We're gonna be barbecuing and going to the river, going to the mountains, taking in nature and all that stuff. So it's like, those are important. Those memories are important. Those memories are key. Those conversations are key. You know what I mean? Being around family is always number one. You know what I mean? But again, the ones that are good for you, because not every family member is truly family. You know, you'll
Yeah,
even
I had
you'll
to
even
learn.
not everybody's blood. Not everybody whose blood is family. Let's put it
Right,
that
right. No, no. We all been through that, and we all have, can think of those things, as you said, that, what I'm saying, can think of those people and family members like that. So, that's understanding. I've seen that too. What I'm saying, it's really crazy that this is happening, and I'm more excited. Like, it's really exciting for this position, but I appreciate every gem you giving out today, in regards on what to be able to look for when
Yeah,
it
what
comes
to look
down.
forward to, what
You
to
know what I'm
look
saying?
forward to. Yeah. And
Right.
protect your son from certain family members as well, because
Yeah.
um and what I mean by that is, like, I remember my mom mentioning to me that her aunt's husband sexually harassed her when she was young.
See, that's not
and,
cool.
and that's, you know what I mean, like, you got to be very careful who you keep your kids around. And that's why, honestly, me personally, I never was comfortable with the idea of my children sleeping over anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me. So when my oldest is like, hey dad, can I sleep? Not happening. Not happening. I don't know these, I can say hi and bye, or whatever the case may be with these people. You can go over there and hang out, stuff like that. I know you'll tell me, you know what I mean, what may have occurred, or you may not even, you know, because you're afraid of whoever the person is doing, you know, this person is doing to you, and telling these children, you know, spinning their ear like, oh, you know, if you tell somebody, I'm gonna harm you or harm them. You know how sick and sadistic certain individuals are. So,
yeah, bro.
You know, for me, that's never been my thing. So my children don't sleep over nowhere.
Hey, you know, it's certain rules and things that you got to put in place for certain things like that, man. I feel like as a child, you know what I'm saying, that's the best thing. When I was a child, I felt like that's the best thing that, you know, like kind of helped, you know what I'm saying, like looking forward at not being able to, you know, go through those bad memories with you know.
Right. And that's one thing I could be fortunate for too. I never had to deal with, you know, anybody trying to fondle me or sexually harass me or do anything to me, whether family, friend, or outsider or a stranger or whatever. So I've been grateful enough to not experience any of that shit when I was young.
And for those who have, it's, you know, that's a trauma to have. And you know,
it'll carry with
yeah. And I have a friend who kind of had to who went through that same situation. Now I don't know his full story, but I remember, you know, he's a father, and his son, you know, said, you know, he got touched by somebody, you know what I'm saying? So and I asked this man how he felt about it, and he was just like, bro, how would you feel? And I was just like, I can only think, you know what I'm saying, in a perspective of mine. And I was just like, it's more like somebody to kill somebody, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, that's a struggle you gotta do. And I had to think about that, you know, now that I'm becoming a father. It's just like, damn, that is you know what I'm saying, pretty, you know, heavy to think about. So it is like, yeah, you gotta be able to make sure you pay attention to people's energy. Those who really do show love to you and show, you know, I want to help you get to where you're needing to go in life. I want to make sure you understand and how to think and how to be, you know what I'm saying, confident in your stuff. So it's just like all of these things to think about as a father, man. It's pretty cool, but at the same time, it's like it's a serious notion, you know.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
You gotta take it seriously.
Yeah, people are going to be awkwardly deceiving, and especially when it comes to, you know, the nature of those kind of people. You know, they'll come across as somebody who cares, but they'll also come across a little bit too much caring in a sense towards your child. I know, you know, from what I've studied, that they'll want to be around the child way too much, which which in turn will be awkward to you. So when you have those intuitions and you have those feelings, and you got to question them, you know, hey, it's time to cut ties here, and you need to get the fuck out of here. You know, we don't play those games. You know what I mean? And that's one thing I've always told my children. I said, anybody ever touch you in any way that is uncomfortable, you let me know. I'll be there. And they're not gonna like what they're gonna see next. You know what I'm saying? So you know,
be protective of
got to.
It's you know, being a father, I'm looking at it, and it's one of those just responsibilities that it takes you to think. You cannot just be out here loosely not planning. You gotta have certain discipline. You know, you got to have a structure and stick to it. Or my brother would say, a program. And you can't be outside of the program. You gotta have a thing that you're doing to keep how you need it to be, like being protective, making sure nobody touches your children and watching out those things, but also balancing the you know, bills, or as we call them, our what do we call them?
Expenses.
Yeah, there we go. Our expenses, man. You know, and then going ahead and being involved in creating those memories and things like that is, you know, that's a struggle. But as men, we can all do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's gonna be a blessing. There's no rule book to it. You know what I mean? There's gonna be a lot of fun involved in the process, especially when they're babies. You're gonna love that. You know, definitely because they grow up fast. By the time you know it, you know the baby's gonna be crawling, standing, running, bumping into shit. You know what I mean? And you're gonna see right before your eyes that process. You know, when they make their first steps, etc. It's gonna be a beautiful thing. You're gonna want to document that all. And
that's beautiful.
You know,
man. Appreciate that.
And then just to switch the energy a bit and not focus on these monsters out there. We're gonna talk about morals, ethics, and principles, and some of the things that we would want to provide in that sense towards our children. And one of the main things I want to instill in them is trust and respect, trust, and loyalty. You know what I mean? And those three fashions are very hard to come by, but you can provide it. But when you
create
provide
the atmosphere for it,
yeah, make the atmosphere for it. But remember that if you're not getting those three things in return, those are not the people that you need to be dealing with in life, no matter who they are. So you're going to give respect, trust, and loyalty. You're going to give it out.
Yes.
But if you're not getting that in return, it's not, that person is not meant to be. You know, that person is not meant to be in your life. And what I've realized in my life is that I end up giving that, won't get it in return, which is fine. I'm cool. That's fine. You're just letting me know you're not supposed to be part of my life. And eventually the universe, God, the spirit, the energy has a weird way of bringing other people into your life, whether short term or long term, to teach you something. That's what's going to happen too. You're going to learn a lot along your journey. And you know, I tell them not to be easily, don't easily be deceived by someone or something as you get older. You know what I mean? People are going to be presenting themselves one way, but in time they always drop the layers, so to speak. So always have respect.
That's heavy right there, bro.
Yeah, give it. Have no problem giving it. Respect, trust, and loyalty. Have no problem giving it. But just remember, if you're not getting an ounce of any of those three back, it's time to cut quick.
Got to. It's a part of being able to, you know, continue to keep being whole to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Being able to have that, what you enjoy out of life and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, because if not, you'll let it eat away at you and things like that. You know, you don't want that. But yeah, that's that trust, respect, and loyalty, bro. Like, you can't. The trust is something that you know that's hard to really like.
That's hard to build.
That's hard to build. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you're not,
I think that takes the most time.
Yeah,
I think that takes the most time because I'll think
efforts of, you know, saying something that, hey, you know, I care, you care type of deal.
Right.
I trust you. If whatever we about to do, I trust that you gonna, you know what I'm saying, have my best interest and have my back, support you, trust in the same.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We see eye to eye. Like, I ain't gonna let you fall or get down, you know what I'm saying, or be down. We down and we up together. You feel me?
If I'm down, we down. If we up, we up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? And you have another thing I want to instill with them is always to be and this goes kind of hand in hand. You want to be selfish to yourself in terms of growing and becoming a better person. You want to be selfish to that. That's fine. You make time for yourself to better yourself. But I also want you to be selfless towards helping others. And the reason why that's so important is because when they grow older and they have an opportunity to help somebody and bring somebody up, there's no other feeling that I can explain that puts on somebody when you're able to help somebody, but help those who are willing to help themselves.
Right, exactly, bro. Because sometimes it's tough to help yourself, but you got to help yourself. But yeah, you want to definitely be able to help those who you seek, put forth that effort and that energy and time, so therefore you can know and trust that you get it back.
Right.
So
Because I've helped some people that just it goes to one ear and out the other, bro. I don't be understanding that. I'll be like, yo,
everybody on a different motive sometimes, bro, and it don't connect, and we need to always have that connection. If it's not, then that's not what it's supposed to be. You're not going to be able to survive in that type of atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? That's one of those relationships that you have to step away from or love at a distance. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, it depending on what they did, but like that's one of the growing up as a kid, bro. I understood that. I seen that early on as a kid. I kind of seen a lot of stuff as a kid growing up, and I was I was one of those students, man, where I was, I could be on point and sharp and everything, but if it doesn't challenge me, I feel like I don't, what I'm saying, it's whatever. So I kind of started learning how to separate myself from certain people in those type of in those manners already. So I know kind of like, how I want my son to be when it comes to that too. So that's a form of thing that I grew up in and started learning just now that I think about it as about becoming a father. Like I want to be able to instill that into my child as well. You know what I'm saying? So this the key importance of, speaking to some real shit right now, but becoming a father, it's like you gotta be able to understand this is just what it's gonna be. You know what I mean?
It's life changing. It's definitely life changing. And because you have a significant other that is going to go through this with you, it makes it a little bit easier, as opposed to being the single mother or single father trying to figure it out on your own. You know what I mean? You guys can figure it out together. Two heads are better than one. And one thing I also want to add in terms of morals, ethics, and principles is I tell them all the time that, and this is now at the level they can understand it. If you want something, you got to work hard for it. You want something, you want the next new game that's coming out, go to school and hone in on that skill. You know what I mean? Now, granted, as they get older, I'm going to let them know how the system really is and what it's built for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I've already instilled entrepreneurial in them. That's why my son has a YouTube channel that he can monetize and make money for himself, my oldest. And then, my youngest is into athletics, and that can lead into something entrepreneurial within itself as he what's the word I'm looking for? If he's in an opportunity to take those athletic skills and be successful within any field he wants to be presented in, that's presented to him and that he enjoys. But work hard, work extremely hard for whatever it is you want out of life. Carve in on it. And it's not going to come overnight. I do explain that to them. It takes a while. It could happen in 3 years. It can happen in a year. It can happen in 5. It can happen in 10. When it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. You know what I mean? Don't easily give up. Giving up is the easy way out. You know what I mean? Nobody wants somebody who's easily going to quit. So like, for instance, when I was teaching my 9-year-old how to tie his shoes, he should already know at this time how to tie his shoes. He was easily giving up and getting frustrated. And I said, now we're going to, instead of doing it 10 times a day, now we're going to take a break. And now we're going to do it again the next day. I'll give you a mental break, but we're going to get to it until you figure out how to tie your shoes. You know what I mean? We're going to start with the basics. We're going to start with the small things. And then after you know how to tie your shoes, we're going to go ride the bike without the training wheels. And you're going to put your helmet on. You're going to learn the basics, the mechanics. You know what I mean? And these are just the small things you want to start off with in the beginning, because as they accomplish those things, what it instills in them is, oh shit, if I keep at it, I can actually accomplish something on the other side if I just keep at it instead of quitting and getting frustrated, you know. And you do it with the small things that they have access to, and it'll develop that in them, like, oh shit, you know, now I understand what my father was trying to say, you know.
Yeah, no, damn, man, that's beautiful, and that I feel like that's something that's key and it's important that needs to be in children's lives. You know what I'm saying? Being able to understand that step and process, take on that, you know, ability to take it on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just really, really, really being able to hone in on doing what it is that you want to do and be creating and enjoying the fun out of it. You know what I mean?
You know, so they're both on their way uniquely. My oldest says that he wants to get into like computer engineering, you know, anything to do with computers.
And man, then that's heavy right there.
Yeah, it's super heavy, you know, coding and data and
man, that's
and all that, you know, technology and tech, you know. I was like, listen, take your talents to the valley, you know, to over there, you know, in Las Vegas, where all the techs are at, and build yourself a company. You know what I mean? Be an entrepreneur at heart, because working for the man 50, 60 years, you know, I have nothing against that in terms of other people that do it. But for me, it's just not the structure that I'm used to, because, you know, most of the time, those people that put in 50, 60 years for somebody else's success, they end up turning around at 65 years old and can't even afford anything because their Social Security or retirement can't afford a living for them.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So they got
where we heading to right now.
Just, you know, and they got to go back to work. You know, that's why you see these older people working to like 70, you know, whatever it is. And, you know, I've been somebody that I've always told them that once you figure out what you're passionate about, we're going to figure out how to turn that passion into a business. We're going to figure out how to turn that passion into a living. You know what I mean? And we're going to hone in on that. You know what I'm saying? So,
that is a great perspective to have too, especially as a father. You know, I feel like that's the role that all fathers should have. You know what I'm saying? And that's the role that I definitely am wanting to try to go ahead and change for my lifestyle, but also instill like, hey, we're gonna figure it out
we're gonna figure it out. We'll figure it out together. You know, that's why you see in my videos I incorporate them, even though it's probably not something they want to do now, but they may want to do it later on, or vice versa. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You just never know. So like right now they might not be into it, but later down the line it might be a bug as they, you know, get older in school, see their other friends, you know, taking acting classes or theater or drama or whatever it is, and they go ahead and they take it and they catch the bug from it. You know what I mean? And they take it to another level. You know, those are things that I didn't have access to growing up because of my structure. My structure was what it was, and it never led to anything productive. You know what I'm saying? So I had to figure out who I was as a person and what was purposeful to me. And then once I figured that out, I continue to carve at it. I continue to, you know, it's like The Rock. You see there's an old story. I know you probably heard of this, but there's a story of The Rock where the guy's hammering it over at The Rock, and it looks like The Rock is not moving, but after that 100th strike, The Rock cracks,
and boom, it's all
and
done.
boom. You know what I mean? He was able to break The Rock. So it's like that's how you have to kind of look at life. It's like you got to keep hitting and keep hammering away at anything you want to do, and then eventually it's going to open up. You know what I'm saying? It's just bound to. And I've realized that we have manifested everything we wanted to manifest, speaking those things into existence. You know, I explain all those things to my children. I'm like, whatever it is you want to accomplish and whatever you want to do, speak it to yourself wholeheartedly that that's what you want to do, and then take the action in the present time to get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, see yourself in the future where you want to see yourself, and in the present time, take the action to get there. And it's so key and pivotal. And right now, it's just little things that I throw at them, because the older they get, they're gonna understand it more. They're gonna be like, I remember that conversation, or now I know why he said that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
that is crazy you say that, because like that's literally how I feel right now. I'm about to be in a father. I'm like, I just told my dad the other day, like, I understand now when you use like when you say you'll never understand it until you have kids, bro.
you'll
You'll
never understand
understand
until you
until
have
you have
children.
kids. Yeah,
You know, and when that baby's in your arms, bro, it's gonna be a feeling that no one can explain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's unexplainable. It's a beautiful thing, and enjoy every bit of it. You know, enjoy the challenges, enjoy the love, enjoy the memories that you create, the good ones. You know, if you're gonna make mistakes, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's
Make
all,
mistakes, but
yeah,
hey,
it's all part of developing.
yeah, yeah. No,
You know
that's,
what
and
I'm
I believe that's a beautiful. I have to put it to you like this, even on a deeper level. That
saying?
type of, if you think about that whole process, you know what I'm saying, that's just a mind, your mind, you know what I'm saying. Men, you know, we are the mind. We are the reason how things operate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's just what comes with building our character for what it is that we are meant to do and how we're meant to be perceived in the world. So they get them to be the example, excuse me, be the example, you know what I'm saying? So that way the kids can follow through and want to follow through.
Also, be supportive of your children.
Mm-hmm. That's like,
Support your children in every way you can, because if there's something that they're into, figure out a way to get it done.
mm-hmm.
And you will figure it out, because that's your child. You love them to death. So, you know, when there's something that they want to do that's productive, and you feel that it's a skill that is needed, and they want to experience that, figure out a way to do it. Support your children on that.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. You got to. I appreciate all of the support that I have right now, man, and all of the people who has been supporting me.
Oh man, it's
Like
gonna be
how my parents thought they, that's one thing I can say about my parents. They supported a lot of the stuff that I did, and or did their best to make sure that they was in attendance and there and things like that. So, you know,
be in attendance. Be in attendance.
yeah, that's
They
it.
be looking in the crowd, because I know, like when I go to like award ceremonies and stuff
Yeah,
like that,
yeah,
especially for the little one. The big one don't really. I mean, the big one, he wants us there, but
yeah.
sometimes he gets a little shy when we get a little overexcited and mention it. You're like, Dad, chill, chill,
Yeah,
chill.
yeah,
You
embarrassing.
know what I mean? You're embarrassing me. I'm already 14 years old. What you
Yeah.
talking about? You know what I'm saying? But
No.
the 9-year-old, he looks around from the crowd. He
Mm.
looks around like, yo, where's dad and mom at? They here at the award ceremony. So
Mhm.
like last year, before he went into fourth grade, he had a third grade ceremony, and they were presenting certain awards, and he got the comedy award and it got a couple other accolades. And my wife couldn't make it because she was working. So because I'm the one that's flexible, I said, yeah, I'll go, of course. So when I went, the first thing he told me, comes up to me and gives me a hug. He's like, man, I'm glad you're here, Dad. So I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna miss this. So he goes, sits down, he chills with his friends. After the award ceremony and after we take pictures and everything, we go home. He's like, yo, all my friends kept saying how you look like you could beat up their dads.
Wow.
And I was just laughing. I was like, man, that's not what I intended to do. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to come out here and hurt anybody. I'm
Yeah,
just,
nah.
here to He was like, but yeah, everybody was looking at you like you were like almost like this bodybuilder guy or whatever the case would be. And I was like, well, it is what it is. That's just what I look like, but that's not who I am. I'm not here to hurt anybody.
Right, right. Now you can't hear nobody.
I'm not here to hurt nobody.
Here to love, man.
I'll protect,
Yeah.
but I'm not trying to hurt nobody. But we had a good laugh after that. You know what I mean? So,
That's a beautiful moment right there.
yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, is there anything else you want to add? Anything else you want to add? Any takeaways, any giveaways, anything you want to add to the structure of being a parent, having the responsibility of raising your children?
Man,
what are you looking forward to as a father?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like I'm it's for me, I'm like I guess I always been excited to want to be one because I felt like it was just it's a cool thing. Like I feel like it's to me it's a cool thing. And I think I appreciate my dad for showing that type of side to the fact that hey, it's pretty cool to be in this position. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm looking forward to being able to create those moments of laughter, giggles, but also instill the principles up in there. You know what I'm saying? Trust, loyalty, the respect, the ability to be intuitive and whenever you know what I'm saying, feeling that, making sure you have feeling, you know what I'm saying, and it's not you're not harboring anything, but like I'm looking forward to listening to all of the hey, what's this? Hey, what's that? You know, and me give my explanation on certain things. And just so therefore that they can think and use their brain, you know what I'm saying, at an early age. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of conversations I want to have with them, or figure out how they operate and try to see how I can, you know what I'm saying, help teach them the way they operate. You get what I mean? Because we got to pay attention to sometimes how our kids are when it comes down to them being expressing it in themselves. Like you stated earlier, you know what I'm saying, being them games and things like they going to the trips and the islands is important because they create those good memories. It's just like you want to make sure that, that I'm looking forward to trying to make sure I do that for mine, but understanding my child and like what they like and what they don't like.
And what they don't like. Yeah, let them experience the things that they're gonna want to experience.
And help kind of guide them in that direction, like how you said with your, you know what I'm saying, with your kids, setting them up with the things that they need so they can, we're going to show you how to make a living out of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to
that whole process.
Yeah, I'm really, I'm really looking forward to it because it's a challenge for me. You know what I'm saying? And I want to be, I feel like this is the ultimate challenge that I get to really show who I am. And like, I was paying attention to what it is that I was, you know what I'm saying, was learning out here and what I kind of really made bad decisions, but I understand those are lessons now and how to move forward and how to just deal with what is coming forward.
Amazing. One thing I do want to mention is that your children are sponges. So now that I'm making better decisions by my wife and by their mother, what I want to instill to them is always take care of your mom, always take care of your sister, always take care of your woman. You know what I'm saying? Like take care of them. They're the nurturers. You want to have respect, love, loyalty, and trust with them. You know what I'm saying? Because us as men, we have in our DNA where there's certain triggers that happen in your mind when you may see something out there or on here that may influence you to do the wrong things, and all that's going to lead to is a lot of drama, and I explained that to them, and they've witnessed it, and I've apologized to all of them, for it. And now that they see me making better decisions moving forward, and they understand it more now that they're getting older, I let them know, take care of your mom, take care of your woman, take care, you know what I mean? Well, they don't have a sister, but you know what I mean? But if they did, you know what I mean? Protect, love, and care for them. You know what I'm saying? So
those keys is important, bro. Like, and just like, again, to say on the importance of having, instilling and letting your children see both parents in the house. You know what I'm saying? To being able to look at the fact that dad's showing love to my moms, you know what I'm saying? And like you said, if you have like from my dad, man, my dad did show love to all of us, you know what I'm saying? And it was just a different type of love that he had for my sister, that where, you know what I'm saying, he was showing us how to have that same love for my sister. You know what I'm saying? So like that's key and important, because you want to make sure you be able to, like you say, protect those nurturers, because those right there is what you nurturing. You know what I'm saying? Women give you in that nurturing spirit, that natural ability to vibe and be intuitive and things of that.
And when you love and trust, and when they trust and love you, and you love and trust them,
Mm-hmm.
they'll support you to the ends of this world.
Man, that's what
And you need that support.
Nah, that's what that's
Yeah,
huge,
man.
bro.
Because
And
without
like,
that support, boy, without that support,
hey, but I'm looking forward to doing that too. This whole little process, man, is a again, like I said, it's kind of, I'm excited for it because I understand what it's gonna take, and I feel like only way to get through it is to get through it. You get what I mean, and make the best of it. And so it's pretty
anyone
dope,
can
man.
be a dad. Not
Mhm.
everybody can be a father.
That's the
That's
key
the
difference.
gem. That's the
That's the
gem.
gem. That's what it is, bro.
Anybody can have children. Anybody can pop babies, but it takes the world to be a father, a mother, a parent to your child, to raise them.
To raise them. Yeah, being a parent is just a whole different type of ball game. But
Don't
it's the most. I feel like because I looked at how my mom and them raised us, and I understand the importance of the abundance of it. You know what I'm saying?
You're cheating yourself if you walk out on your children. For
Yeah,
all the fathers out there, and or even mothers that
mother,
don't
yeah,
have their shit together,
exactly.
you know what I mean? That can't handle that. It's like if you're gonna if you don't want the responsibility, strap up.
Mhm.
Plain and simple.
Hey,
Strap up
'cause
if
it's
you don't
really,
want the responsibility.
it's a life, it's a life lesson basically,
Hmm.
just like you was. And that's what I feel like we're all here to do anyway, is to show lessons to each other. You know what I'm saying? To be able to give and give what you understand, what how you feel, what conversate with, or what you connect with, what you vibe with, to give that energy out to that, and get an exchange back in that, and see, okay, put the right pieces to the puzzle. You know what I'm saying? Make the bigger picture of what it is.
And I'm telling you, if I can be an example, a live example to anyone out there that ends up going through this episode, um, let me be that, because I was one that made extreme bad decisions that led me down a dark path before my family and during my family, and I was able to come out better on the other side, and lucky enough I still have my family together. So
Man, and
uh,
that's important and key, man. And it's you know
remember, before you go, I didn't mean to cut you off.
it's,
Your decisions affect everybody in your family.
yeah.
Every decision you make affects your children and your significant other. So don't only think about yourself when you're making these decisions. Think wisely. But go ahead, brother.
Yeah, yeah, no, thank you for saying that, bro, because that is very key and important. You know what I'm saying? To be able to, hey, you gotta be able to communicate. But what I was saying is, like, when my parent, I like how you have the perspective of what it takes to go through without your parents.
Mm,
And although mine wasn't together in the full household like you are having for yours, but understanding and watching them, how they still could was in my life, both of them in my life together, I can give you, I understand the help that is coming when it comes down to having family.
hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Why family is key, and it's important.
Yeah.
Having
Yeah.
family is the most beautiful thing in life, and that's why I've always wanted to have kids, is because I understand, like, I think that is the most beautiful thing. And in realistically, to even get into it, like, how I that's how I was born with, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was the firstborn, the baby boy, or the firstborn, not the baby boy, but you know what I'm saying? I was the firstborn. So I was already here to understand that I have to be the example
Mm,
without knowing I was having another little brother.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? So it was just it was the family, having family is, I understand, is the key important. And when you have that, your love from your grandparents and from your parents and stuff like that, it's it really helps keep the child, the process going of the good things that we need in life. You know what I mean? To be able to keep those morals and attributes, and those things that structured life for us, to continue, so no kid can ever go through your great grandchildren from now, like me and your great grandchildren from now, still have these same morals and things that are being taught. You know what I mean? That's the key importance, and it's very necessary for both parents to be in a life, in both of the kid in all of the kids' lives.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
And what I can take from it all as well is like, I can't hold on to resentment towards my parents anymore, because that's how they were raised. They don't know any better. They only know what was given to them through their parents, through my grandparents. You know what I'm saying? So when that cycle is given and that's all they know, you can't have true resentment towards the decisions they made, because they didn't know any better. They're human, just like everybody else.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I love it.
Exactly. That's just what it. We all have the same function, just different ways of functioning.
Right.
You get what I mean?
In order for things to change, you have to make change, and you have to step out to your comfort zone in order to be comfortable enough to make those changes. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we're at with it in terms of the present moment. You're gonna see within yourself of the things when you have your son as they get older. You know what I mean? And you enjoy each stage. Just prepare yourself for the terrible twos.
I keep hearing about that, man.
Woo, boy, he gonna be giving you the fire, bro.
Don't even worry about the terrible twos.
I
moment, because they grow up way too fast.
Too fast. That's what I'm looking at, man. I mean, I as being the oldest, man, and my father having as much kids as he had, because I'm the oldest of 7. You know what I mean?
Damn.
I kind of help, understand that in life, like help my siblings out a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was kind of raising them, seeing them be involved, and sitting back, looking at them and how they were being expressive of themselves, and just doing their thing. I kind of took on that also father role too, they used to call it, but it was just, I always just felt that in my nature and in my spirit, you know what I'm saying? And so it was, that type of, that type of energy was just, natural for me to be able to do that. Like, and that perspective right there is pretty much like why I'm looking forward to being a father, bro.
It's amazing, brother. It's amazing.
I'm running out of places to hang up my art. Look, I just finished the piece.
Hey, that's dope. What is that made out of?
It's thread. I threaded through the canvas, and then I added gold leaf.
It looked pretty cool because it looked like a vase and a face at the same time.
It is a face. Okay. You see it? The eye.
And I see the eye. Okay. Yep.
The rose.
Oh, that's hard.
I'm running out of places to hang my stuff up.
Hey, that's hard, bro.
Whole family's creative.
Oh man, that's beautiful when it's creative like that.
And some of the other things I wanted to mention is I told them to make good choices when it comes to picking, who you want in your life in terms of friends, in terms of when they start having girlfriends. I told them to experience life a bit. Don't rush it. You know what I mean? Because the first girlfriend is probably not going to be the last. You know what I'm saying? It typically it's not that fairy tale story. Hey, it might just be. We don't know.
Yeah. Y'all had a fairy tale story yourself.
Yeah, but no girlfriend. You heard it right there. So are they even in bed already?
Yeah.
Okay.
The oldest one is.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
But
that's cool, man.
But yeah, just make the best possible choices you can make. Make mistakes, it's fine. You learn from your mistakes. Learn from your mistakes. You know what I mean? And it's enjoy it. Enjoy the goodness of it. Life can hit you with like a ton of bricks. It's gonna be tough. But find ways to enjoy it, because there's so much joy in the experience when you're able to look past all the BS.
Yeah. Nah, I can't now. I can't wait to be able to do it to my own. Like that's what I'm excited for. Because like I said, watching my siblings grow up. It was pretty. They did some pretty cool stuff. I mean, I did some stuff too. You know what I mean? I had some fun out there and stuff like that too. But like, I'm ready to take on this fun right here.
Is there anything different you want to do with your child that you didn't quite get to experience as you grew up? Because I know you. There were certain things that you may have felt that, damn, I wish I would have been able to experience this, but it didn't quite happen. So, what is it that you're going to be able to do differently with your child that you wasn't able to do growing up?
I'm gonna do my best, honestly, to try to get to a level of being able to be there for my children when they play in the sports or whatever endeavors they want to be involved in.
Them activities, be in attendance. Yeah. You want to be involved. I want to be involved
in it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a hands-on type of person. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's just like the best way to be is that hands-on, be there, involved. And that was what I needed growing up. So, or I had, but like didn't have enough of. So that's what I'm, trying to be ready to take on, is being and doing my best to make sure I can be there. But also understanding that, I might not be able to, and how I would feel about that. You know what I'm saying? When I'm not able to be able to be there, and when I'm not able to, when they want to, want me to be there. So that's why I'm kind of like, I want to make sure I try to make the right decisions and get myself in that position to where I don't have to miss out on nothing.
Right.
But understand that, hey, if we sacrifice in life, we might not be able to do this, we can do this.
Right. And then be okay with that decision. Be all right. Don't let it beat you up.
Yeah.
Right. Now, when you're on hand, when you're better on hands than you are visually when it comes to learning things.
Or is it both, but like I'm saying, if I'm in the process of doing it, I learn it better.
You learn it better.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's how it is with parenting and becoming parents in general, is you get better along the process. Mm-hmm. As long as you have the awareness to want to be better, you'll get better along the way.
Definitely. You gotta have that awareness and want to be able to strive and push for it to always be better. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm pretty cool. Like, all right, cool. This is different, but I'm also serious enough about it to like, get my shit to make sure it's on point.
Right.
I gotta understand emotions sometimes can get involved and let it happen, but move forward. You know what I'm saying? And get ready for take on whatever. And that's like the part that I'm like, all right, really want to take on in this challenge.
How is the discipline gonna be? And when you're ready to discipline them, is it gonna be different from the way you were raised?
Yeah. I'm gonna try to communicate
rather than react and
make sure saying like I got ass whooping, or excuse me.
I caught the belt. I caught the knees on rice.
Man, the knees on the kitchen
on the rice.
Rice, bro. That was
all in the knees, bro.
Oh man, bro, my knee feeling crazy right now.
My kids don't have no idea. If I say knees on rice, they'll think that's a new dish. They won't even know. They won't even know.
Right. Nah, man. That that's how. That's
so crazy. You're gonna want to communicate with them more so than physical. Right.
Connection, bro.
Right. Because being physical, I feel like doesn't get anywhere.
Mm-mm.
If anything, it traumatizes them and almost scares them in a way.
Yeah, I am though an advocate for when it's needed, it's needed.
I see, but not extensively.
Not
To the point.
extensively, no.
Right,
Because
right,
sometimes
right.
we a little hard headed, and we get along. We know kids. This is what kids do. We
You
all
know what works for me? I
yeah.
end up putting them in the corner, bro.
See,
Either
there,
the corner,
mhm.
on their knees. They have to look at the wall and they can't
Yeah,
look
yeah,
around.
yeah, yeah.
Or I take the keyboard away.
Hey, take the. I remember all of those days too. Like that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. Is like I'm taking the good that I learned as a kid growing up, the bad that I learned as a kid that I did. You know what I'm saying, and mixing that all together with
Right,
all right,
right.
I'm gonna do my best to use what I didn't like or what I liked from this that I learned and how to, what I'm
I
saying.
liked when I got my ass whooped, but we're gonna do it differently.
Yeah, like no, I didn't like when I was getting my butt whipped, bro. Terrible, bro. That shit was terrible, bro. I don't want. I feel like my kid don't need to be spanked too hard the way I was spanked and more talked to. But
Right,
you know what I'm
right,
saying, if
right.
it's needed because of the whatever the saying magnitude of what they did was,
Of
then
what they
it's
did was right,
you
right,
know what I mean. Like
I
that's
hear you.
but not in that nature. Like I ain't into beating all the kids and all of that stuff like
Right,
that.
right. It's a crazy world. I be trying to tell my children. I say y'all got it good because there's some monsters out there that do some wicked stuff to children. So
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, and
And
it be coming from their own parents sometimes.
yeah, man, and that's it's not what it's not cool, you know what I'm saying. But
Right.
I did get talked to as a kid too, so that's why I want to. That's another thing that I took. It was just like I can use being talked to as a way of express yourself. Tell me what's wrong. Tell me if I did something wrong. Be
Right,
let
right.
me know, so then we can figure out. We can get an understanding with each other. You know what I'm saying? So,
One thing I want to say also is you're gonna also want to develop a friendship with your children.
mm,
You know what I mean? That way they know you're always the one that they can go to when all else fails in terms of friendships.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm saying? So don't structure it extremely around parenting. Have
mm-hmm,
those boundaries set, obviously, but also let them know that they can go to you, and build a friendship with them. Because when they get older, those activities are going to change. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah,
you're
yeah.
gonna have to adjust to those activities.
I'm man, bro. It's gonna be cool, man.
Because I'm bugging right now that my son's about to be 14. I remember when I blinked my eye and I was 14, 15 years old,
Yeah.
walking through the high school hallways. You know what I'm saying? So to see him experience it the way he's experiencing it is just incredible to see. Like his high school, it feels and looks like a college.
Whew.
It's
That's it.
crazy. I get lost. I'd be like, yo, where am I supposed to drop you off at? Like, and then I'm sitting there, like, I'll drop him off at one location. He
Mm.
can't get into it. And then I got to watch him like circle this big ass building all the way around. And then I'm sitting there waiting. Even though there's a cop out front, I'm still there being super protective and safe. Like, all right, he got in the building. All right,
Yeah, he in there.
so he's in there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So, but
and
it's gonna be amazing, bro. There's gonna be so many different things that are gonna occur in terms of it, and you're gonna love every moment, bro. You're gonna love every moment.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm
I love it.
honestly looking forward to it, bro. Like
Oh, talking about it, Juan Juan, how is he about being an uncle?
he's freaked, bro. He's dope. He's saying like, bro, it's dope. I'm an uncle, bro, because he has a relationship with my uncle. Like
Okay.
you know what I'm saying, like they have that same connection when it comes to drawing and being the uncle. You know what I'm saying, and like I know what it's like to have a cool uncle and a nephew. You know what I'm saying, that nephew bond. So that's what he's looking forward to. You know what I'm saying, and they're excited about. He excited about that. Like that it's cool to him, and so he's he want to be able to this is he's Theo Juan as he calls himself.
Tio Juan.
Theo Juan, you know what I mean? So he's like, yeah, I'm about to be able to, what I'm saying, show my little nephew around and do all these things and just be there and help raise him, be
It's gonna
supportive
be
around
amazing.
him.
It's gonna
Hmm.
be amazing. And you guys have a great support system around you. You know what I mean? Videos was lit. The reveal was crazy. You know what I'm saying?
And it's too much going on. Like and I think that's a nice warm welcoming into this whole situation and creation. You know what I'm saying? I got with my beautiful, you know what I mean? She really, I really love the fact that she, you know, willing to carry on the child, you know what I'm saying, to bring forth that life, you know what I'm saying, and to also be there in go ahead and instill some great things that she learned and be that nurture, you know what I'm saying. She's really
and your lady's background is what nationality?
she's Hispanic.
Hispanic.
You know what
So
I'm
now
saying?
you got two cultures being combined.
Oh yeah, oh
Two
yeah,
cultures.
and two cultures being combined, that's, you know, that show the bondness, you know what I mean, like we all come from the same thing. We can work together. This is what it's like to actually have love and be real, you know what I'm saying, have some love about other people, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Connect the connection, you know what I'm saying.
Right. That's amazing, bro. That's amazing. And this is you know, this is Unified Media dropping gems, episode 10. This is the final episode wrap up to season 1.
We've come to the end of season 1.
Come to the end of season 1. We will be giving this a little breather, a little break. Me and Dewan will be also taking a mental break for about 3 weeks or so. If we need
Got
a
it.
month, if we need
Look,
longer,
we
you
needed
let
that
me.
day off.
If you need longer, you let me know. You know, I'm one
No,
phone
we
call
will
away.
see. We'll
You
see.
know, you let me know
Yeah.
if you catch an itch after the 2 weeks. Let me know. If not,
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
weeks is 3 weeks is fine. You know,
Yeah.
because I'm gonna be formulating. You know, how season 2 of
Center stage,
Center
man.
Stage is
We
gonna
gotta bring
Center
center stage
Stage is gonna
back
be.
into the dome. You
You
know what I
know,
mean? We gotta get it
get
get it
back
right
to the
again.
get back to the bars, get back to the
Yeah.
music. You know,
Yeah.
get back in that space. I know
Mhm.
that whole space is crazy when we come across, you know, the talent we already have, plus the new
Mhm.
talent we're gonna be discovering. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? And you know, we'll be able to come back around to season 2 of the podcast to talk about that process and many more experiences that we have along the way. But this is you know, the responsibility of being a father, a mother, a parent, and the levels that come with it, you know, from the unconditional love to the challenges. That's now I can edit that in the description. The challenges,
Mhm.
um, you know, the memories you create, the morals, the ethics, the principles you apply along the way to your children. And you know, it's easy to just walk out, you know what I mean? But it's better to stay fit and keep that household structure together, have that foundation, because
Mhm.
you are breaking the cycle when you do that. You know,
Mhm.
and as difficult as it may be because of all the outside noise and influence that comes across your life and your path, just know there's nothing like that household. And if you have that foundation well structured in your home, best believe it's going to be easier to navigate as you pursue your ambitions, you pursue your dreams. The structure is just that better. The support system will be just that better. And you'll find with ease that when you have the structure set up that way, um it's going to be apparent and needed in order to maneuver fluidly through your obstacles, your trials and
Mhm.
tribulations. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
just be prepared, because it is going to be a roller coaster, but you know, enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
So those are my last words, brother. I'm always humbled and appreciative
Mhm.
for you, your time, your family, all the love,
Same, brother. Same, brother.
all the gems that you dropped for season 1 has been incredible. You know what I'm saying? And
Thank
when I
you,
take
brother.
those gems, I take those gems with me and I apply them to my journey, and it makes me 10 times the man I was the day before. It makes me 10 times the man I was prior. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
Appreciate that, man.
just
Hey,
You know what I
brother. Hey, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate the fact that this platform is here and the fact that, saying we got the relationship that we got,
mean?
then
Absolutely.
because it helps connect and bring out these gems. What I mean? We got kind of the same eye to eye in what we want to do and what we want out of life. And
Mhm.
so, it's, I'm glad we was able to have this conversation,
Absolutely.
what I mean,
Absolutely.
and to really give from the perspectives of what it's like from your background versus what it was like from my background. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because everybody goes through different things in life.
Mhm. Mhm. There's different levels, there's different layers,
Hmm.
but when you learn and you experience those things and you share those experiences and you're able to come out the other side, a better person, a better being, a better individual, you know what I'm saying? It amplifies, you know what I mean? And the right people will gravitate to you because of
Hmm.
it. And I'm
Yeah.
telling you right now, the more we level up, brother, prepare.
Yeah.
There's going to be the right people coming our way, and there's definitely going to be plenty of sharks circling around. So
Hey,
be
Bob.
ready. I'm going to be ready with the harpoons.
Hey, Ray, I'm ready, my G. I'm ready to go ahead and shit. We had the little if I had two little slices like nunchucks up to me, you know what I'm
I'm going to
saying?
be ready with the harpoons. With the
Let's get it.
harpoons. We're going to
Let's
take
get
these
it.
sharks out. Take these
Yes,
sharks
sir.
out. But
But I
definitely
appreciate that love, brother, and
sending
thank
you
you.
love,
Hmm.
abundance, prosperity,
You too.
growth,
Hmm.
blessings, and everything in between that for you, yours, your family, your children, um, your son to be, and it's gonna be amazing. And for those that tune into this, that same love and energy sent to you as well.
Yes.
I want to say rest in peace to Justin.
Rest in peace,
He
man.
yeah, he was actually in the one video, and I got some news over the weekend that he passed away in a car accident.
Oh
That
man.
yeah. So appreciate your life every time you wake up and you open up your eyes. Have grace for that. Have appreciativeness for that. You know what I'm saying? Have love for that, because anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? But move gracefully, protect your energy, and we'll see you on the other side.
Yep.
Unified Media,
Unified.
dropping gems, season 1.
Yeah. Welcome to Unified Media Dropping Gems Podcast. Let's get